in television, and it's brilliant. It's never been shown in America. Is that right, Michael? This is its first.
That's right.
This is its premiere. So you're all here for its premiere, and they flew in all the way from Canada to introduce this. The filmmakers themselves, the director Michael MacDonald, and the writer Johnston. Here they are. So let's give them a big round of applause.
Hello everybody, how are you? Who are we here for tonight? Forry! So just a little background on the film. I make films in the genre of sci-fi, horror, paranormal. And my introduction to Forry is not like most of you in this room. I don't have a famous monster issue that I recall. Unfortunately, and I feel kind of bad about it. But I did get to know Forry personally on a one-on-one basis. But my cousins, who are kind of crazy people, used to scare me with telling me that Frankenstein and Dracula would come and get me in the basement. They had all these machines with dials because my uncle was in the RAF and he had all these gizmos. And so I was very fascinated by Frankenstein and Dracula. I thought Dracula, by the way, had the better costume. Anyhow, so I didn't know who Forry was. I think I had the magazine at one time or another. But I made a film about science fiction art, and somebody told me that Forrest Ackerman had this incredible collection of sci-fi art.
That was me,
Ian told me that. And so I came to Hollywood, and I met Forry, and it was in the Ackerman mansion on Russell Street. And I'll always remember the first time I ever met him. Honestly, I thought he was dead. I thought he was deceased. I come in, the inner door was closed, and the outer screen door, and this is sort of always the way it is when the Ackerman mansion is open for inspection, was open. There was nobody there. Joe Mo, I think he was back there making tea or something, so he didn't hear us coming up there. And I knocked on the door, bang, bang, bang. It's like nothing. I knocked on the door, bang, bang, bang. And then I checked the door, and it was open. So I went in, and there was this guy sitting in that big old purple chair, which, by the way, we could have stolen at one point. But anyways, that's a different story. We wouldn't do that. Anyhow, and I looked at him, and I looked at my cameraman, and I said, oh my God, I think he's dead.
You're too late.
I think this man is dead. So I walked over, and I'd never seen Forry Ackerman at that point. I walked over, and I touched him on the shoulder. He was wearing his purple jacket. And I walked over, and I touched him on the shoulder, and he just sort of, the eyes came up. And now I think it's like, who dares wake the sleep of the undead? And he kind of woke up, and I thought, okay, he's alive, but what can he do on camera? Can he sit up? He did. And eventually, through conversation and you know, interaction, and the cameraman with all his cables and all that crapola, Forry woke up, and he became this incredibly animated, and I must say, extremely warm and inviting person. And it struck me, it really struck me that this man seemed to be a really nice guy. He let us come in with cameras and whatnot. He didn't really know what we were up to. I mean, Forry just sort of opened his door to people. He never asked. I still don't. I don't think he ever gave us permission to film him. But Joe got him, like, grabbed his hand and made him sign the release. But anyways, and so to make a long story short, that was my introduction to Forry Ackerman. I actually fell in love with him right then. I thought he was the coolest guy. He walked me around the Ackerman mansion, and he showed me all of the magazines because that was the focus of that film. And knowing that I was from Canada, he took particular pleasure and delight in showing me these two magazines, both of a beautiful, buxom woman, one of them naked from the waist up, which was kind of nice. And he said, you know, this is the American version, and he said, and the Canadian version, the censored version. And it actually had the breast airbrushed off, and so he really got a kick out of that.
First ever mastectomy conducted on a magazine cover.
That's right. So we came back a few years later. Somebody convinced Ian and I to make a film about Forry Ackerman, and at that time, Space Network in Canada was quite happy to commission films, unlike today. But at any rate, I was really lucky that I pitched doing a film on Forry Ackerman, a bio on Forry. I really loved the guy, I thought he'd be great, very interesting life, all kinds of film footage you could use. I mean, what more can anybody ask for, right, Tim, than to make a movie about monsters, or people who make movies about monsters? So that's what we did. Well, I'm going to pass it over to Ian, and we've been debating talking about this particular thing I'm going to mention right now. like ever since it happened yesterday. But I'm going to tell the story anyways, because I think people will appreciate this. Forry told me, and Ian, that he didn't believe in the afterlife. And you know, I thought about that off and on, because I'm a Roman Catholic and I believe in the afterlife. And I thought, well, Forry, one way or another, you'll find out.